Good evening, everybody. It's Holy Joe Rock and Roll, and I'm coming at you live and unscripted. This is part 2 of Reboot Your Life, starting over. You know, I want to start at the beginning, and I'm mainly speaking to an American audience, but really this could apply to whatever country you're from. You know, American politicians especially like to say that America is the greatest country in the face of the earth. I guess they don't know their history because Rome was probably the greatest country on the face of the earth back in its day, when it was the world's first global superpower, the world's first globalized nation. Anyhow, obviously if you were a slave under the Roman Empire, wasn't very nice, right? But if you were a Roman citizen, it had its advantages. But it didn't help those people in Pompeii, 78 AD, when Pompeii was destroyed by the volcano Vesuvius when it erupted. Anyhow, a lot of politicians like to say that America is the greatest country ever, and that they could never be German, they could never be Japanese, they could never be, and you fill in the blank, right? But all of these other peoples can come to America and become American. Is that true? Is that a true statement? Is that a true generalization? Actually, if you do some research, you find out that it's complete falsehood. And really, Americans, we've been spoon-fed a myth. Now, there's a lot of great things about America, even to this day. You know, there's a lot of problems, but there's a lot of great things about America. Yeah, if you can get in a good situation, get a good job, get a good whatever, you can make a lot of money in the United States. But man cannot live on bread alone. And when you have money, or in my case, I had money, till my ex-wife took it all away, life was pretty okay. You know, I was fat, dumb, and happy. Maybe you're fat, dumb, and happy. You've not taken the red pill. So you're still in the matrix. I don't know. I'm just saying, for those of you who have taken the red pill and have awoken to the realities out there, there are options for you. I just want to let you know there's options for you. Think about your ancestors, because all Americans, except for American Indians, Native Americans, immigrated to the United States, right? Why did your ancestors come to the U.S.? Well, certainly for most people it was for financial reasons, especially if they came 100 years ago or earlier. Some for religious reasons, if they were on the Mayflower or you know, Plymouth Rock people, the Puritans. So, you know, they were escaping some kind of persecution, whether it be religious or economic or whatever. But I just want to point out that if you look and do the research, you can become a citizen of another country. Becoming a German citizen, worst case scenario would be 5 years of legal residency. And you can become a German citizen, and you're German. Obviously, during that course of time, you have to learn the German language. It's a necessity in Germany, I would say, yes. Other countries like Japan, would you want to become a Japanese citizen? I don't know, maybe. Some people fantasize about Japan. They have a fetish for Japanese women. The same thing holds. If you marry a Japanese woman, you can become a Japanese citizen. Now, the truth is, will the Japanese people accept you as Japanese? Well, if you speak Japanese, if you learn the language, and you're married to a Japanese woman, speaking, you know, as a man, or the reverse, if you're an American woman marrying a Japanese man, learn the language, become a citizen, you probably have a good chance of being accepted, at least having some level of acceptance. Japan is a special case. There's a lot of xenophobia. You know, people who are Koreans that came to Japan, you know, 2-3 generations later, on their identity card, they're still listed as Koreans, even though they are Japanese citizens. So they're, you know, you may run into those type of issues, but does it matter? I don't know. Maybe that's what they mean by only in America can you become an American, because it's a melting pot. We're known for that. But the point being that if you wanted to become a citizen of another country, you certainly could become a citizen of most countries. The only question is, would you want to be? What country would you want to be a citizen of? Anyhow, in rebooting your life, thinking about your ancestors, they moved for a reason. Persecution for whatever the reason was, or for a better life. There's been a lot of talk, especially from the right, accusing Europe of being socialism, that the governments, it's socialized, it's socialism. And I would just ask my American colleagues to just look inward, and there's actually some videos on YouTube that clearly show that pretty much all of the major tenets of the Communist Manifesto, including free public education, labor unions, and several other things that were in the Communist Manifesto actually have been embraced and implemented in the United States. So talk about socialism, talk about communism, just do some research. It's there. Now, there are some countries that are more socialized or more socialistic than others. Some of the Nordic countries do have a more cradle-to-grave type of system. Like Norway, college education is free, it's paid for. Norway has a lot of oil, and what they've done with this money is, instead of spending it on armies and invading other countries, well, they had a history of doing that as Vikings, but today they've taken that money, put it into a national trust, and they invest that money around the world, and they send their kids to school for free, college for free. College education is free for all citizens of Norway. So you might consider Norway as being more socialism, having more socialism than other countries. I'll take the case of Germany. Germany has very good work rules for employees, and in fact, if you are fired after a certain probationary period, you do have really good benefits, unemployment benefits. And I've met people who were traveling on vacation because they had benefits for, let's say, 2 years. I don't remember the exact number, but they were able to live off of the unemployment benefits for the course. They didn't look for another job. Anyhow, is it wrong? It benefits the people. These are policies that benefit the people. Now, Germany is a unique case, right? Because they have high wages, high education, and they're they're number 3, number 4 economy now. Used to be number 2, number 3. Now they're number 4. But they're still a huge exporter. They're a huge innovation incubator, country with a lot of innovation, technology. We know of German companies, Siemens, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, Volkswagen. I mean, a lot of high-tech industrial power in Germany, a lot of exporting power. So it's really unfair to paint Europe with a broad brush. I'm coming to you live from Poland, and in Poland, while there are some, there's socialized medicine, which everybody pays into, and it protects employees, their families, and children. So all Polish citizens' children have health insurance. Now, it is true that if you only rely on the public socialized medicine, you may have to wait to see a doctor, but because everyone has this protection, private insurance is very cheap. So in my case, I do work, I pay into the socialized medicine, but I also pay into private insurance, and I've personally never used the public system. I've only used the private system. And I can usually get an appointment within a couple days. Usually the next day, sometimes the same day, depending upon when I ask for an appointment. So it's a very good system. Everybody's protected. Why might you pick up and leave? If you cannot find a job in the United States and you've been looking for a long time, you need to get up off the couch, get out from behind the video game console in your mom's basement and think about moving to another country. You've got nothing to lose, whatever the country that is. I would recommend Poland if you're educated and you're willing to learn a new language. I would say Poland is very open to foreigners. Okay, let me put some caveats on that. I'm just speaking as me, not as a full-fledged member of the Polish community, but I'm getting there. I'm just saying from my perspective, if you are, actually it doesn't matter if you're white or black or whatever color you are, it doesn't really matter. If you're a Christian, if you're Catholic or Christian, Poland is a great country for you. If you're a Jew, it's not bad either. If you're an Orthodox Jew with hala hala going on, I don't know. Personally, I don't give a rat's ass. I think this is all bogus. It's not in the Torah. It's obviously part of what they call rabbinical law. That's another video. But this is a great place. This is the first country that I've been to, and I've been to about 35 other countries, but this was the first country that I came to that I really wanted to stay. I really thought there was something here for me. There was something that I had to do here. And that's why I'm here. I've been in Poland now for almost 10 years. Let's say almost 10 years. And I really have no reason to go back to the United States. Sure, I would like to go back and visit, but there's no reason to go back. I make a lot less money here, but PPP, or purchasing power parity, makes it so that it's almost the same. Obviously, the money that I make converted into dollars, as I said, it's a lot less. So there are certain things that are unobtainable, or not as easy to obtain, let's say, as it would have been or would be if I was in the U.S. But and had a job, But that's part of the reason why I'm here. 10 years ago, after 9/11, it was incredibly difficult for me to find work. I was going through a divorce. Ex-wife was a miserable bee, and I really had nothing holding me down. So I came here actually on a business trip, just reluctantly, and found the place to be quite interesting. I like to tell the story that the delicious food, the beautiful women. I tried the food first, but once I tried the women, I married one, and I'm here permanently. So I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here. I want to try to stay focused, but that's it.